Thank you for joining us for CNTV. I'm Brad Clonch.
And I'm Quin Tran.
We take you to Sulphur, Oklahoma. The Chickasaw Cultural Center is featuring a special quilt exhibit. Handmade quilts are on display, all of them made by Chickasaw citizens. The quilts showcase a variety of cultural designs and patterns. Some of the quilts are family heirlooms passed down from one generation to the next. The quilt exhibit will be on display through March.
All of those quilts on display have special meaning to families. A Chickasaw elder says her quilts each tell a story.
I used to sew a lot. When the girls were little, I sewed for them a lot.
Since her daughters are grown, Nancy Bradshaw spends more time on another hobby. She still uses needles and thread.
I like making quilts better than I do sewing. It's kind of like a crossword puzzle or a jigsaw puzzle like we've got, because you have to figure out how the pieces go together, and if you don't get them right, then your quilt will not go together well.
The Chickasaw elder has made dozens of beautiful quilts.
See right here, these stitches? I do that by hand.
She takes her time with each quilt. The first step, select the colors, pattern, and fabric.
It takes probably 6 months to probably finish one, I would think, because you got to piece it all together, and they're big, they're huge. And then you got to put cotton behind them, and you got to put a lining behind them, and then you got to bind them, and then you got to quilt them. And my mother used to tell me, she'd say, the best seamstress in the world has to rip things out. Don't let them tell you they don't, because they do, And so I thought, well, I must be really good, because there's about 3 times I've torn this one out. It was fun putting together, and it's about Oklahoma. And of course, I'm all for Oklahoma, and everything on it kind of tells a story. It has boots and cowboys and buffaloes and horses, and it just tells a story,
I remember this.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, that one. Mm-hmm. And that was a dress. That red one there was a dress. And
She might have wore that at your high school graduation.
Oh my goodness.
This quilt holds a very special story.
She did love clothes.
Each patch of fabric is from their grandmother's clothing.
She had, I don't know how many blouses, and we took those blouses and cut them in squares and made quilts for my 2 brothers and my sister and me and Cheryl and Vicki, and several quilts.
To her, quilt making is an art. It's a love she's passed on to her daughters.
This is hand done. You see that design? And she's very particular. Just made some tiny, tiny stitches. Yes, a lot of hard work went into these.
I love to do it, and it needs to be, it doesn't need to be a lost art, it needs to be something that can continue on with granddaughters and great-great-granddaughters and whoever. And then it'll be, forever. You don't have to do it, just know that you can do it. The accomplishment of knowing that you can do it.
She's created keepsake quilts, a Chickasaw elder's gift to her family.
I want them to remember me. It says 20 years, they can pick that quilt up and say, well, Mom made this for me. When I give it to them, it is for them.
Mrs. Bradshaw is a beautiful elder who does lovely work with her quilts. She takes great care, a lot of fine detail in her quilting.
See her quilt and other Chickasaw handmade quilts at the Chickasaw Cultural Center special exhibit. Again, the quilt exhibit runs through the month. One of the largest spring events is about to get underway at the Chickasaw Cultural Center. The Three Sisters celebration attracts thousands of families every year during spring break. Visitors experience horticulture-related activities while learning the story of the 3 sisters, corn, bean, and squash, and the ancient method of gardening those crops in harmony. The festival is set for March 13th through the 19th. Get more details at ChickasawCulturalCenter.com.
The Chickasaw Nation offers a wide variety of youth camps, clinics, and academies throughout the year. The programs are popular with kids, allowing them to participate in a variety of educational, recreational, and creative activities. Visit Chickasaw.net for the lists of youth camps, clinics, and academies, application deadlines, and other information. We'll be highlighting many of the camps here on CNTV.
Well, we're glad you tuned in for this episode of CNTV.
We'll see you next time.